know what you're going to do. I hope you have prepared your set of notepads already. Have you done that? Notepads for the study of the booklet, have you done that?
Yes, Miss.
Oh,
Do
Prepared the cards, but haven't actually started writing.
yes.
Working on it.
Not that.
you started reading it? Come on, get out of that holiday mood and prepare this. This is important for your exam next year. So you prepare your notepad, study the topic on the cover of the booklet. I will go through that in detail. And study the list of guide questions on the introductory page. You predict the question, and this question is going to be a possible question, so that you can create a thesis statement, which is also a possible. Why are we calling them possible statements? Or possible question and possible thesis statement. Why are we calling them possibles? I'm asking, can you hear me?
Because it could be the possible question.
Might be
Because
the
it could be
question.
the question, right? It could be the question. The word possible, the word could is already possible. So you don't say could be a possible question. It could be the question, all right? Go to the next.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Now, which way do I go? Okay, the next step, create a title using the predicted question. So after this page, what are you going to do when you have created your title? You have created a title using the predicted question. So from this page, you are going to create an outline. So what is an outline?
Your
What's
guide.
another word for outline? What's another word for outline?
Guide.
Plan, yes, okay. So we are identifying what's the possible question so that we can create our outline. Title and then outline. And so this plan will find its way to the next stage, which is the notepads. Notepads that you have already prepared. Each one of these notepads is going to be labeled with a subject. All right. Then after the notepads are labeled, you go to number 8 step, which is applying the active reading strategies. What is our abbreviation for this that we have created?
Iron seed.
Iron seed, yes. Okay, so in iron seed, you're going to be doing underlining, highlighting, circling, and drawing. You can also do annotations. All right. Number 9, you're going to transfer notes from the resource booklet. What is the resource booklet? The book that you are studying is your resource booklet. So after all the highlighting, applying of iron seed, all that information goes to the notepads. All right. So what's the reason why we have to create or write our notes from the booklet into the notepads?
So that we can study.
What's the reason? What's the
It's
reason
easier
why?
to carry around and
Yes,
study.
it's convenient for us. We don't have to carry the whole booklet around. We only take notes into the small cards, which are convenient for us to place in our pockets and walk around. Anytime we need to study, we can study this. Number 10 is writing a possible introduction with a possible thesis statement. All right. So we will have possible thesis statement and a possible introduction. All right. So that brings me to the end of this one. I'll move on to the next one. The next one is what you should do on your note card. So your note card will have the 4 elements. What are the 4 elements? There has to be a subject. There has to be source information. 2. Number 3 is your the actual information from the source, and number 4 is your comment about the information, all right? And there are some examples in which students have written a lot of details in this. The note card is a note card where you write down only brief information to carry around. You don't have to write down a lot of details which will be hard for you to uh, try to memorize. So I've given an example here. One subject here will be disadvantage of, what is this? Disadvantage of internet. One disadvantage of internet. All right? And if you look in your booklet, there is a writer with this name who has presented that information on this day. All right? And what is the actual information that was located in this source? I decided to bring out the subtitle of this information. What is the title? What's the title? What is the information I have gathered from the source? Kaylee, are you there? Are you listening? What is the information I have gathered from the source?
The author's name.
On
Author
this,
name is that's from the
what is this? Can you read this?
Constantly
distracting.
distracting. What's that?
Distracting. So what am I talking about? This is an example of a
Disadvantage.
right? That's a disadvantage. All right. And your comment can be your own experience about when you experienced or when you had that situation in which you were distracted because of the use of mobile phone using internet. All right. So this one note card means all this information will be found in one sentence. You understand? So the reason why we're carrying this note card is to tell us that when I use this specific information, this topic, I will talk about the actual information in the form of summary, paraphrase, or what's the third form? Direct quote. And what is my comment about this that I make, I will write in a way it connects to my thesis statement, right? So this is example of the note card. I'm moving on to the next one. The whole idea about this writing of the essays is to present a kind of genre or a kind of writing in which there is the idea of introduction. There is going to be, what's another part of this writing? There will be introduction, there will be also a body, and there will also be a conclusion. All right? So are we also going to have introduction, body, and conclusion in the story writing? Are we going to have the introduction, body, and conclusion in the story writing? The second question.
no.
No? Then you will not have written
No.
anything at all if you will not present any introduction, body, and conclusion.
Yes, you have to. My God.
Both of these writing pieces must have an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. But because they are presented as different genres, the idea of introduction in story is not the same as introduction in argument writing. Do you understand this?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, so there must be introduction, body, and conclusion in both writing pieces. All right, in this one, what I have done is given you examples of what introduction is. I'm giving you my own samples of what I would have produced if I were to write this kind of essay. So my title, which is one thing that a lot of students did not write, the importance of this title is that it is the summary of the whole writing. So if you produce a piece of writing without the title, then nobody knows what it is you're writing about, right? So this is important. You must always have a title that's created out of the question. Autonomy should not be granted to provinces in Papua New Guinea because the question is asking you, do you agree or disagree with giving or granting autonomy to Papua New Guinea provinces? And so in the sample introduction here, I have defined what autonomy is, and this information is coming from background reading in your 2019 booklet. So you can write it this way. And you don't have to use this all the time. There are many different ways that you can present this information. You can have the author's name and the date of publication, or you can have the article title inside the sentence, and the rest of the information is arranged for reference. Right? It can be argued that this is very suitable for Papua New Guinea. Here I am using counter argument. So you can also use counter argument inside your introduction, right? This is a repetition. I've done it already in video, but I'm going through because there are some things I didn't mention here. This is link. This is a transitional signal that shows that there will be a rebuttal to this counter argument here. All right? So that is the signal that shows that I will now present the opposite of what I have stated out there. There are many reasons this way, but this statement, many reasons, creates a connection to what will happen in the body. So you need to make sure that whatever you are placing here towards the end of the introduction must have this thesis statement. Many students, for those people who gave in this writing, didn't present a thesis statement. And it is important because it will set direction. It will also show what the subject of your writing is, which is re-emphasizing what you have written in the title up here. So thesis is very much the same as what happens in the thesis statement and also the re-emphasis in the conclusion. All right? So this is the first sample. I go to the second one. Here it says autonomy is the way forward for PNG. I have a dash in between here. And so what is the view that I'm placing here? What is my
Going
view?
for
I'm
the
going
topic.
for the idea of autonomy. All right. So you don't have to always use should or should not. You understand, to show that you agree or disagree with a view. But you can restate it in a way that what view you have is implied in the statement. All right. So this is an example of a statement in which I imply my point of view. I don't have to state it directly, but the words I use show the side that I choose to take. And if you look at this example, what kind of approach have I used to do this introduction?
Anecdote.
Anecdote, all right? So this is telling a personal story, personal experience, but a story. If I'm writing a story, it is categorized as a general idea. That means it has nothing to do with the topic, but I have to find a way how I will make that connection to what is the focus of the discussion. You understand? So I'm telling a story, and then I go to the last line. Autonomy can be a way to bring back. This word here is called what's the word? What am I doing here? I'm making a connection. I'm making a link, right? So this story I told, I'm saying that autonomy, if we bring the idea of autonomy, it can bring back such things that I spoke about in this story. You understand? All right? And so it can bring back such efficient management, basic services, and meaningful participation by the indigenous people. So what have I done here when I place information like this? What have I created here?
A link.
Yes, a link. But if I say these three main ideas, what am I implying here? What am I planning to do?
You're gonna discuss
Be
those
the
I will
topic
discuss, these are the
body
three main ideas I will
body,
discuss in my
paragraph.
body. You
body.
understand? Yes, in the body, I will talk about efficient
Yeah.
management, I will talk about basic services, and I will talk about meaningful participation by indigenous people. So I don't have to state three things that I will talk about in my essay will be efficient management, basic services, meaningful participation by the indigenous people. Right?
Yes.
But I can state it in a way that it shows what is the structure of my essay, in what order I will present my ideas. So what order will my ideas be in the body in this example? I will have efficient management as paragraph 1 in the body management, sorry, in the body of the essay. And I will have the second paragraph in my body for basic services, and the third will be meaningful participation. And so each one of them creates a main idea in my body, and I will have to provide details or explanations of how they connect to um, autonomy, how they can create uh, this autonomy to be a way to bring back what was once in the past. All right? So you can use anecdote this way. There are many other approaches you can use. I'll go to the next one. Autonomy should be granted to provinces in Papua New Guinea. So a very plain topic, but you can always get away from a plain topic. Use something else to create, not topic, but title. All right? I'm using the word this year to create what? I'm creating this to create a
Link.
link, a connection to what was said. This definition, I'm referring to what I said, which creates a connection. This definition of autonomy suits Papua New Guinea. And this is also another skill. What's the reason why I'm writing this way?
Abbreviation.
Yes, abbreviation. What's the reason why I write the abbreviation? Adasha?
So you can
What is
write
it?
the abbreviation
Sorry?
later. Instead of writing.
Say it again.
Miss, so when you use
So you can
abbreviation
draw
later,
a reference to it later instead of
Yes.
writing like Papua
Okay,
New
good.
Guinea
That's
in
right.
there.
That is correct. I have written the word in full here. Everybody knows what Papua New Guinea is. I'm just using it as an example, right? If you use something else that a lot of people do not know, you write the whole word here and have it in brackets abbreviated. So you are indicating that when you use these initials again later in your writing, then it is understood what it is, what it represents. All right? So this is a skill. You can also apply this one. And there is another link here. Therefore, Papua New Guinea should give autonomy to its provinces, as this essay will elaborate. Right? So I'm also setting link to what will happen in the body. All right? So there must be a clear flow of ideas. We need to indicate with transitional signals that they can indicate that. All right? Oh, I still have one more. The cry of people must be heard. So in other words, I'm saying, I agree or disagree with autonomy. I'm saying yes to autonomy, all right? And this time, what have I used here? This is called using expert opinion. So I write down the person's full name. This is a specialist, professor of political science. What's the reason why I have to write all this? Director of policy and research.
To
What's the
show
reason
his
why?
credibility.
Good. All right. So there is credibility that people will rely. This information that this person provides is reliable and credible information. All right. So that's just to demonstrate how we are going to apply expert opinion, because use of expert opinion can also give weight to our opinions, help us have credibility in our statements. he states that autonomy. I have written this in bracket. What's the meaning of this? Here there is open and close quotation marks. What's the reason why I have placed them in bracket like this? This word, this particular word is written in bracket. What's the reason?
You made a direct change to the code.
Okay, good. That is correct. This word in the original text was devolution, all right? But we are not talking about devolution. I want it to be the same as what it is I'm talking about here. So autonomy is what I want to write. So it's the same as autonomy. So this bracket inside the direct code means I have made a change in the direct code. It's not the original information, all right? And at the end, there is supposed to be there. And I have used the word paragraph here. What does that mean here? Why did I use the word paragraph? Did we talk about this? Somewhere in your referencing information, referencing examples, there is a mention of this. What's the reason why we have this paragraph? Anyone? Samsung Galaxy, who is that?
Plain.
Clay? So what was I asking? What is the reason why I have written my parenthetical referencing that way? Paragraph 1.
So that they can refer to the first paragraph.
So that louder, I cannot hear you.
So that they can refer to the first paragraph.
Okay, no, there is a specific reason why we use the word paragraph. Anyone?
Because what you're stating is stated in paragraph 1.
Yes, that is obvious, yes.
That's what I said, Hara.
So you are telling
No,
me,
you didn't say that. You said something else.
so you are telling me that you didn't hear anything about this from me?
It's
Wait,
from
no, wait.
Jemima? Jemima, what do you think is the reason why we are writing paragraph?
miss your paragraph 1 because you took their information from an online article.
That's right. Okay, good. That is correct. We are bringing this from an online source, right? So if you're bringing in the information from the internet, maybe an article you read, a book you read, some text you found from the internet, then what is the paragraph number? You can present it in words, so you can use the symbol. Go through your APA handout. You should find an example. I attached electronic sources, one example on that. Find it and see what is the symbol, so you can also use them. All right? So when you do that, people know that you know how to do various ways of approaches in referencing. You understand? So paragraph or the symbol, you can use them. And the last sentence to this is the step that Papua New Guinea should take for the following reasons. All right, again, creating a link to the next paragraph. Okay, and I have here also the very simple form. If you think that all those are very complicated to follow, you just simply write down what is this kind of approach called? What is it called? What kind of approach is this to write the introduction? Anyone? We are using one sentence, one sentence paragraph, all right? But in that one sentence, there are many things that are included. What is one of them? There is subject included here. There is also point of view included here. There is link. So the whole thing is also a thesis statement. You understand? So this one very simple sentence is doing a lot of work because it does all those things together, all right? So if you're thinking of introduction and you think that the best approach to take is just create one sentence, then you can do that. All right? So you don't have to think of anything complicated. Do a simple one and go straight to the body of the writing. All right? But if you think that the complicated one, like writing a more paragraph, is the one that you want to do, then that's fine. I'm just trying to give some suggestion. All right? I'm going to the next slide. I wonder what the time is now. We're supposed to have a presentation only 30 minutes. Almost time.
No.
I started at 2:45.
We still have 6 minutes left.
Still have 6 minutes, okay? Right.
Yes.
3 more minutes.
Sorry? How many minutes do I have?
3.
3 more minutes, okay. This one
Two
is
now.
with elements of the introduction. Elements of the introduction. So what we are seeing is what makes up the introduction. Right? So we talked about general statements, the whole idea why we are telling a story or using statistics or using expert opinion. All these are to create a general statement. What's the general idea? All right. Then from the general idea, we have to come down to the narrow idea. So from the big idea, we have to come down to a small idea. And out of that, we can create our thesis statement. Then we create our link to go to the next paragraph. All right, we are clear about that. So in the introduction, general statement. Then what I've just discussed now is presented in diagram this way. So that is why that writing can be presented this way, because the wider part of the triangle is to represent a broad idea. All right. So this is the big or the broad idea that begins the essay. Then we bring it down to the narrow focus. So here we can say this is the general or the broad or the big idea, right? And we are going to bring it down so that there is a narrowed down idea or a specific arm of the topic we are going to discuss. Then there is the body moving head. Then we start with the specific here. Then we end it again with a general.